Welcome back, everyone, to Pod of Thrones. I'm Jeff.
I'm Jennifer.
And if we sound tired, it's because we are.
Well, I'm also a little drunk. So.
Oh, well, you didn't tell me that before
I had
we started
some
recording.
wine. Just a little.
That also makes you sleepy, too.
Right.
You're going to stay with us, though.
I'm staying with
You're in this.
Here we go. Slap myself in the face.
We had our watch party. We played bingo.
Oh, it was fun.
No one won. No one got a bingo. There was a lot less death than I thought.
Well, there was a whole lot of death.
There was a lot. Okay, named characters. How about that?
Okay. Podrick's still alive?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. It's a short list, assuming I didn't miss anything. And sometimes it's hard to tell. 7 pages of notes.
What?
I mean, I don't even fucking know.
Come on, it was just battle.
I know, I didn't think I was going to take any notes. I'd take like 5 notes.
So-and-so killed this guy, and this guy killed that guy, and then everybody killed everybody.
But so many things happened. Okay.
There were moments of awesome.
There were. And there were moments of sadness.
Mm-hmm.
Some confusion.
I cried.
You did?
I did. I cried when Sansa and Tyrion were in the crypts looking at each other.
No shit. You sentimental lady. Look at you go. I'm so proud of you, I guess. I don't know. You were probably a little drunk, too. So was Tyrion. Okay. So let's just go through this. Let's just talk about our feelings. Hopefully this won't take us all night.
Okay.
I was just writing. I mean, they were preparing. Tyrion picked up his axe. Sam was really cold. Lady Karstark and Theon take Bran over to the Godswood. We didn't see her again. She's probably dead now, huh?
Who?
Lady Karstark.
I don't know who that is.
She was like the teenage girl that took over for her disgraced family.
Okay.
She was one of the people wheeling Bran or hanging out with Bran as he was on his way.
I wasn't paying much attention.
I don't think we saw her die, but everyone died. The dragons are flying around. We see Pod and Brienne and Jaime. We see Sam and Ed and
everybody is there.
Yeah.
Everybody that's anybody. Except, of course, Cersei.
And then
and Kyber.
In the middle of the tension, as we are just waiting for the undead to charge, which it seems like they should be doing, lone horsed figure.
Melisandre.
So you were right. I think it was you that said she's probably going to come in this battle.
Uh-huh.
Maybe Josh did. I don't know. Someone said that. I don't know.
I had a couple wins.
You did. I don't think I had any wins, but.
Well, your wins, like your theories are way out there.
So Melisandre shows up, and she did, in fact, have a part to play in this battle.
She lit their swords, big fucking deal, because they all died. Well, anyway, we could see them dying. That was good, I guess.
Yeah,
at least
so it gave us hope, first of all, because it was like apparently nobody made obsidian weapons for the Dothraki, which means they were kind of screwed anyway.
That's not nice. Well, I bet the Dothraki were the ones that mined it.
Probably.
That's fucked. No, I'm surely.
You're surely.
I'm surely they must have had Dothraki. What are those called?
Aurochs, I think.
Aurochs.
Something like that. It didn't look like they were made out of obsidian.
Yeah, it didn't, but I hope it was.
But so then they had a chance again because of the fire. So that was it. Fire or Valyrian steel or dragonglass.
Unless, I guess the fire didn't work on them. They were just overwhelmed, right?
Well, yeah. Yeah, I did take a note because it was the first thing that popped into my head just as soon as Melisandre grabbed that one dude's sword and started chanting. I'm sure I'm not the only one that thought this, but it just hits me from the old movie Excalibur and the charm of making. And I'll Dothrak. Ooh, I think they say Dothrak. I gotta look up the words to the charm of making. Do you remember Excalibur?
Yes, I do, but I don't remember what the charm of making is.
It was like the source of all magic for Merlin and then Morgana.
Mm-hmm. I remember. Yeah. I remember the chanting too, but I can't. I think you are right. Anul Dothrak Vaso no Kunye or something like that.
Yeah,
that's right.
Dienve was in there somewhere. Yeah. So it just reminded me of that, and then she did it later on too. But yeah, all the swords lighting up was really cool. You always
got to chant if you're a witch.
Watching them ride forward was really cool, as we saw Dany and Jon looking down from above.
Right,
and then
blazing.
We didn't see anything. It almost felt like a season 1 battle. It was just a flash of something bad, a giant at least.
Right. We should try and freeze frame that. Freeze frame.
Do, 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 do. Okay, we're getting off track. And then we saw the lights go out.
Right.
So cinematically, that was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool, yeah.
Now, the one worrisome thing that I found in that first bit of the battle, like we saw Jorah come back. He was leading the charge with the Dothraki. But also in that charge was Ghost.
Oh my gosh, where's Ghost?
We did not see Ghost come back.
And we didn't see Ghost fighting.
We didn't see Ghost do anything. So Ghost better not have died unceremoniously off camera. Because they went through all the trouble of bringing Ghost back.
No, they wouldn't. They would never do that. Yeah. Never. It's all about the pack.
What pack?
The Stark pack.
Well, yeah. I mean, but most of the direwolves have died. And
well, I know, but the lone wolf dies while the whatever. Oh my gosh.
They better not have killed Ghost off camera. I will be very angry if we don't see Ghost again. If you're going to kill Ghost, I'm okay with that. That's why Ghost was in the death bingo. But
everybody's in the death bingo.
Off camera is not cool. Not cool, guys. Melisandre enters Winterfell. Davos is angry, but Melly says, "Don't worry, I'll be dead before dawn."
And so will you.
She didn't say that.
No.
And she has this long locking of eyes with Arya. Because Arya's important, as it turns out. Arya's important.
She is. Shit, yeah.
Yeah.
She is. Shit, yeah.
Let's see. We had some Dothraki runners return, but just a few. Jorah's badly hurt. Dany mounts up because she's going to go. She's like,
right. She's going to go kill everybody.
People. And it clearly wasn't part of the plan because Jon tries to talk her out of it.
Okay.
Yes.
So she's burning she's burning the ground with all the dead people.
Right. She does that at some point in the very near future here.
Right. So, how many of our people did she kill? Like, how many of our troops?
Well, I don't think any, because she didn't hit the front line ever. There was so many swarming undead that she could just swirl around and never touch the front line of combat.
Well, that was never in the plan anyway. So if she hadn't done that,
yeah, it would have been even worse.
Much worse.
It's pretty terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that was a great plan, but they were trying, I guess.
Yeah, so the swarm hits the line, and that was where we see like Brienne going, hold, and everybody's sort of ready, but you're not ready for this.
No.
That was an amazing, and that one deserves a freeze frame of the undead horde, like sort of roiling over each other. Mm-hmm. Because it wasn't just straight on combat, they were bubbling up from above. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't expect that. I saw it more of like them just maybe running, but moving more army-like.
Now,
I guess.
It's all magic because you wouldn't be able to go that fast if you had like half your body gone.
And a lot of tendons missing. Yeah.
Right. It's magic. Whoa, oh. Hey.
It's song night.
Oh, never mind. I forgot.
Okay. Let's see. We had a close call with Brienne right away. But then Dany lights up the battlefield. The White Walkers were holding back. Jon is sailing over and sees them and tries to charge. But when he does, this big wind wall kicks up.
Yeah.
Freezing winds. It puts out the fire before it gets all the way to the ground.
Poor dragons. Poor dragons.
Well,
it's hard to fly in them when you're freezing.
It wasn't comfortable. Yeah, so things are not going well on the battlefield. Arya tells Sansa to get the hell out of there and go to the crypt and hands her a dragonglass blade. To which Sansa says, I don't know how to use this. And Arya says,
stick them with the pointy end.
Stick them with the pointy end. That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Over in the Weirwood, it's getting a little foggy and everyone's just kind of standing around. Ed saves Sam, who was down on the ground getting swarmed on. Ed gets Sam out of that mess, makes him stand up, and then right through his back. Ed's down.
Was it through his back? I felt like it came out his eye or something.
I'm not sure right
It was hard to see.
Everything was very dark.
Very fast.
I guess there's been some feedback already about that. Yeah. We did have to kind of seal up our house because it was just sundown. Mm-hmm. And it was hard to see if we didn't have all the windows closed as tightly as they possibly could be.
Right.
And we already had our TV in like bright mode in the first place. So yeah, it was hard to see. I can appreciate that. But then it made the dragon fire that much more spectacular.
Yeah, I guess. But I think we need a better TV.
We might.
Ours is pretty old.
Let's see. We had Dany and Jon colliding in midair while they were searching for the Night King.
Yeah.
That was a little scary.
Crashed into each other.
Again, I don't know how they stay on those things.
Yeah.
Brienne gives the order to fall back, and the Unsullied get trapped out there protecting the retreat. Except Grey Worm's not with them.
He's on the other side of the moat.
Yeah, he was on the other side. Let's see. We had, it seemed like Jon was checking on Bran. Arya saves the Hound, who was about to, I don't know.
Get overcome.
I think he might have, he was having some, oh yes, she shot an arrow, and he was not overcome on the battlefield thanks to that. So the command goes out to light the trench. So this was part of their tactic. They built this big wooden spiky trench, and that's when the Unsullied get completely cut off because Grey Worm has to pull a lever and close up their like little bridge. Grey Worm and Melisandre wind up working together. She does the charm of making again, almost fails, but of course comes through at the last second. She lights the trench because no one else can because it's too fucking cold or they can't see or whatever.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like it's going to take very long.
To light the trench?
To go out.
Oh, well, I mean, it's...
Especially in that
like
cold-ass weather.
It's like a campfire. It would probably buy them a half hour or so.
Right. And then what?
Well, that's so they can at least have some time to regroup. They weren't sure what was going to happen once they get the trench lit, but it turns out the zombies just stop running forward and just stand there really fucking creepy. Just dead-eyed, blue-eyed.
They're just robots.
Yeah, well, pretty much. So yeah, they got the trench lit. The zombies are waiting patiently on the other side. Back in the crypt, people are bored. Oh, they're missing all the fun. Tyrion wants to help. He thinks he could go out there and drum up some kind of strategy. Sansa says it's hopeless. They start talking about their old relationship and how they used to be married, and he was the best of the ones she married. But then
she didn't marry more than 2.
Yeah, but she had maybe other dalliances, people that were flirting with her or stalking her like the Hound was. Maybe she's including those kind of people.
I don't know. She was probably considering Joffrey.
Yeah,
I wasn't thinking about just...
Yeah, she never married Joffrey, of course, but...
Right, almost.
Right. But then Sansa says something about Tyrion's dual loyalty and how that would be a problem if they were married, because he's also loyal to Daenerys. At first I thought she was hinting at love, but I think she was just saying something about loyalty. Mm-hmm. And the reason I bring any of that up, because it's not really important to the story, except that Missandei speaks up in Dany's favor and says, yes, if Daenerys wasn't in the picture, it wouldn't be a problem because we'd all be dead already. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if that means Missandei's loyal after all. Maybe that whole Missandei's a spy thing could turn out to be wrong. Just throwing that out there.
Maybe it's Grey Worm.
Missandei didn't have to speak up.
There's no way Grey Worm could be it.
No, not Grey Worm. Maybe there's no spy.
Maybe there is no spy.
Maybe Cersei's just that smart. Okay. Back somewhere else. Oh, back in the Godswood. Theon is talking to Bran. He says, like, I'm sorry, I'm such a dick. But Bran says basically it was his path. And then he starts wooding, or what is it called? Green seeing, or...
Right, and what the fuck whatever. Good did that do?
Warging. He was warging into a bunch of crows all at the same time.
Right.
But what the fuck? Man, he finds the Night King, and that's good for us, the audience, I guess, because we get to see the Night King wiggle his fingers for a second. Because then we see the result of that. But yeah, Bran, fucking Bran. Bran just stays that way for the whole episode.
Right.
I have some comments already in our inbox that I want to read to you when this is all over, because it is a pretty funny one about Bran. And the zombies start building a bridge over the fire. They're no longer afraid of the fire completely. They're following Night King's finger wiggly orders, and they start stomping out the fire with their bodies.
Well, and making a bridge for them to walk across.
Right. And
People bridge, zombie bridge.
Then the shit really hits the fan. Now, while the shit is starting to hit the fan, the dragons meet. Jon starts chasing the Night King.
Right.
Dragon to dragon. Let's see.
That was hard to follow sometimes.
Yes, very much so. Because it's
like,
hard to
who's
tell.
that? I don't see anybody on that dragon. What happened? And then you find out somebody might have fallen, but I'm not sure.
The dragons are hard to tell apart in the daytime.
Yeah.
And when it's all dark, even Viserion, like only from a distance, if you see like his tattered wings, then you could tell it's Viserion. But otherwise,
it's very
in the darkness.
Stormy.
Yeah.
In the dark, stormy.
Dark and fog. Yeah. Oh my God. Let's see. Brienne saves Jaime up on top of the wall as the undead start coming over. They do this World War Z climbing each other thing. I think we might have talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the inside is starting to get overrun. The Hound, we see him freeze up. He's doing his PTSD thing again, just like at the Battle of Blackwater.
Yeah.
And Beric is wasting his time yelling for the Hound to come help. I'm surprised he didn't die right there. Arya starts kicking ass.
That was cool.
We get our good Arya time. So it turns out the staff splits in half when you need it to. Mm-hmm. That was its thing. And
although it seemed to be like only used for 10 minutes.
If that. Yeah.
Right. Hopefully she goes and finds it in the pile of bodies that she rolled down.
Well, she won't need the obsidian anymore, though.
Well, she might. Who knows what's going to happen now?
I don't know. I certainly don't know what's going to happen now. Everything I think is wrong. But yeah, that thing splits in half. She's kicking a lot of ass with it as a staff, then a lot of ass with it as what I would call maybe like Tonfa. Like she's just beating
cool.
guys to death with it. Does a cool acrobatic flip over a pile of zombies coming up the stairs, but then sort of trips and slips on her way down. And that's when things take a turn for Arya. Our little Arya, my super ninja.
She starts to get overwhelmed. Like everybody else, overrun, right?
Right. It's hard to stop. It's like when you fight like if a dog attacks you.
Yeah, they're not going to stop.
Because the dog will feel pain, which the undead won't, but the dog still has a ferocity that humans are more protective of themselves, so they don't attack as aggressively as an animal or an undead. So Arya gets overwhelmed, hits her head, she's not doing well, and that's what unfreezes the Hound.
He helps her.
Beric points that out. So he moves to try to save her, and she's on the run. And then the next thing on my list, Lyanna Stark.
Oh.
So the gate blows open. Lyanna gets clonked out of the way by just the bare hand of a giant. Mm-hmm. And that already had her not looking so good. Right.
That she could have died just from that.
Right. But this giant's about to take out all of her people.
I love how they did the little girl scream. Sound like a little girl.
Actually, I mean, I guess there were more scene cuts, but let's just talk about Lyanna. Let's talk about her moment. She gets up from that giant blow. Mm-hmm. And she screams at him.
Her face is all messed up.
Yeah.
Right.
She charges into that giant's face, and he grabs her. He picks her up, and there are crunching noises, babe. Crunching noises for that little girl.
Yeah, well, apparently it didn't break her right arm.
She got to have her final adrenaline moment. Yeah, it's all adrenaline, right? Cool. At that point.
And then
stabs that motherfucker in the eye. Made that cool noise. Crumbles to bits. And from what we've seen, once you're obsidian, you don't get back up again, even if the Night King summons you.
Oh, yeah?
The giant didn't get back up. He was only bringing up the new bodies. So
you're right. You're
really
right.
Did good.
I didn't realize that I'd never put two and two together. If you can't,
once you've been obsidian, there's
can't be
no more
reanimated.
Magic. You betcha. Right. So Lyanna takes on a giant. We started seeing the hints of a dogfight. Didn't get very far in it right away. We have Arya walking around the keep alone, and this is where it turns into an episode of The Walking Dead. Because all of a sudden, it's the silence.
That was a long...
It was.
It was very tense and very long.
Yeah. The tension, they're just fucking with us, right? I mean, it's all about making us, grab each other and be like, what's happening?
Like, I think they said it at the after show, that you can only take so much war, and then you have to break away to do something a little bit different.
Yeah. Which is true. They broke the tension of the insane pacing of the battle. And that was fine. I'm cool with that.
A different kind of tension.
Yes. So that was so Arya I mean, they're hearing blood drops, and she like gets under a table and
do something with that shit. You don't just let it keep dripping. Hide it.
But it was total Walking Dead. Like the zombie walks up, white, quote unquote white, walks up to the table and then like bends down and looks under, and then she's not there, of course, because she already slipped away. But then a huge wave bursts through the next door, and they go, ah! Major swarm. All right, so they hear crashing sounds at the crypt door, people begging to let them in, and then that slowly fades away. That's horrible.
Yeah.
You got to feel really guilty when that happens.
You mean when Sansa?
Well, yeah, Sansa and the others were hearing these guys going like, open the door,
Yeah.
and then they stop screaming at a certain point. But the good news is the zombies weren't bashing the door down. I was totally wrong about the little Sam being important thing. He apparently is never going to be important. No offense.
Well, he might. No, I guess not.
Probably not. All right, so the Hound and Beric are looking through for Arya in the Dark Keep. Beric has his big flaming sword on, so everything can see him from a long ways away. But Arya bursts through a door. She got zombies on her. Beric takes them down and throws his flaming sword, and they try to make a getaway. Long story short, Beric pulls a Hodor.
He holds the door.
You never really liked Beric that much, did you?
No.
You're just thinking of Hodor.
Yeah.
Okay. So Beric pulls a Hodor, takes a lot of stabby stabs, although somehow then makes it back up to them again so he can die with Arya.
Yeah, he wasn't dead.
And of course, Melisandre's waiting for them. Does not resurrect Beric this time.
No.
Says that was his purpose this whole time. The Lord of Light brought him back for one purpose, and it was this one moment of helping Arya get away.
It couldn't have been anybody else, like, it's just him.
Just Beric. He's the one. His purpose has been served. Then they talk about how Arya has been designed to kill someone with brown eyes, someone with green eyes, someone with blue eyes, which there's a pause. Brown eyes and green eyes, ... in the script, and blue eyes.
So she's killed who with brown eyes? I mean, she's killed so many people.
Yeah, I don't know.
Surely one of the people that she's killed has had blue eyes.
Well, I would have figured originally like it was, I don't know, Meryn Trant probably had brown eyes. Who the fuck knows? And she stabbed him in the eyes, so we'll never see them again. So I always thought it was a little simpler than that. Maybe there was a bigger, like maybe Cersei. Maybe Cersei has green eyes. We got to take a look at that. But some of that could still be what's to come.
I think Cersei might have green eyes. I think you might be right.
She's going to kill Cersei and wear her face. I'm sticking with that plan. Even though I've been wrong about everything else. I'm just going to wear Cersei's face. So yeah, Arya runs off. Now, since we were having a watch party, we did see, we took some time to watch the after thing where they have the behind the scenes and all that. And I just found it hilarious that those two guys, what are their names?
Benioff and
Weiss. Very good. That they were like, so when Arya scampered off, we felt pretty good about all these other things we were doing, and you guys were going to forget about Arya scampering off. Did anyone in our room forget about that? we all knew she was coming back into this. You can't forget about Arya.
I don't think I even saw that scene where she was running, scampering off.
Well,
who knows what I was doing, but
chugging some
wine at that moment, right?
Well, it's all the more reason for us to watch this again sometime soon.
But did we rewind it? Because I feel like I did see it the second time around. I don't know.
We might have.
Oh, no, they showed it. They showed it in the. Oh yeah,
they showed it in the recap.
That's right.
There was one scene where we rewound. God, am I drunk? We rewound something really quick to like listen to another line over, but I can't remember what line that was. Okay. There's zombies in the Godwood. It seems like everything's going to be crazy, but then they just cut away again. Fucking people. The dogfight turns into a melee in the air. The dragons are grabbing each other and clawing and biting. And Daenerys swoops in to save Jon and boots Night King right off of his dragon, which was a cool move.
Yeah.
Except when he's falling, he's so fucking expressionless. Expressionlessness. I don't know.
He's expressionless.
It was just sort of a goofy way to watch someone fall.
He's just like
staring at them straight up.
Yeah. It's cool.
He lost his spear in the process, so that was nice.
Yeah. And Dany picked it up.
Well, no, he actually picked it up, as it turns out.
No, she picked it up at one point when she was fighting with Jorah.
No, he threw a spear. Maybe he dropped something. I don't know.
Oh, it was a sword that she picked up.
Yeah, she had a sword later. And Rhaegal took a lot of damage. He lands hard. We weren't sure if he was dead. I had dragons ? On my list of like who died during this shit, because I couldn't tell if Rhaegal was dead or not. I had no idea. It looks like he's not. Yay.
Right, because he was in the preview.
It looks like he's in the preview for next week, so thank goodness for that. But Rhaegal lands hard. He's at least done with this battle. Jon falls to the ground as well, and he starts looking for Night King. Dany finds him first, and Dracarys is. Did you think that was going to work?
No.
No. Did anyone think that was going to work?
No, because he was just standing there like, go ahead,
Yeah,
bitch.
he's like, bring it, bitch. At least he didn't have another spear. But
right.
I was worried, like, you can't see him because you're Dracarysing so much.
Right, what's he doing?
Hurl a spear right at you, and you would never know.
A spell or whatever. His ice hand.
His ice hand. Just launch some ice right in your mouth.
Yeah, ice spikes.
Yeah, we don't know what he can do. He can summon a storm.
He can reanimate the dead.
But he might have other powers. We don't know. He's a very good javelin thrower.
He is very good. Almost like he was trained. He's like,
that was his previous job. He was an Olympian before becoming Night King. So it was a little disappointing that we lingered on the Dracarys so long, because we knew it wasn't going to work.
Right.
Everyone knew that. And Jon's coming. As the Dracarys dies down and there's no more fire around the Night King, he fucking smiled.
That's the first time he's ever smiled.
Oh, what? I mean, it was such a shitty smile. It was like,
that's why he had to die.
Your dragon fire's so cute. Oh, he had a moment of happiness.
Yeah.
I think you're right. It fits the storytelling. He had a moment of happiness, so he had to die. It was just a shitty little smirk. And he brings out another spear. Dany flies away or something. Did she fly away? Maybe she didn't. But Jon draws long claw and starts running. But then he sees Jon coming and starts raising the dead, and everything goes to hell. That's when things really take a turn, if they weren't bad enough.
Now, what
already.
if a dinosaur, a dragon, tried to eat him?
Jon?
No, the Night King.
Oh.
What would have happened if he just ate him?
Just crunched down on him?
Yeah, surely they could do that.
Well, I mean, they can take physical damage. Yeah. I don't know.
Just chew him up.
Chew him up, spit him out.
Yeah, everybody will die. And
I don't know. He probably wouldn't have just stood there. He probably could have just stabbed. I mean, he had a sword at least. He could have just stabbed the dragon in the mouth. Like Harry Potter versus the basilisks kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What? Oh, you looked like you were going to say something else.
Well, I was thinking it would have been nice if somehow Viserion recognized his brothers and I don't know, had a moment, but
like The Walking Dead, you think that they can recognize you, but it's just them taking a pause until they decide to come eat your face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so a lot of shit happens as they all start rising up, but it was noted by our little crowd here at home. Both Lyanna and Dolorous Ed started standing up with blue eyes as part of that process. Mm-hmm. That's so fucked up to do to Lyanna, but whatever. Mm-hmm. And the White Walkers finally leave the far back of the battlefield and start coming up to Winterfell. Because they think it's pretty much over now. They weren't going to risk themselves. Only fools would do that. And look at what happened after that. Sure enough, the fucking crypts start erupting.
Mm-hmm. I told you so. How could they not?
I mean, I guess they can. I guess. But they're bursting out of stone. They just shouldn't be that strong, man.
Right. That's true. There's no power behind these skeletons.
Yeah. I mean,
although
I know it's
magic.
Right? I know. Magic can do anything, but it still kind of annoys me.
Mm-hmm.
And it gave us more tension to bring all of our characters to the very brink of their demise. So there's that. There were a lot more Starks buried in those crypts than I realized. Yes. There was a lot of fucking death. If it was just a few, oh man, how come we didn't see Ned? His skeleton was in there.
I know. Or Lyanna, so cool. Or anyone else. I don't know. Some of the people that died there.
Now, wait a second. Well, Ned's bones were returned, but they were like in a box. So maybe the skeleton wasn't intact enough to be raised.
It was all apart.
But Lyanna, she probably never came back. Do you think
she's probably
Ned
dead.
recovered the body?
Well, he might have. Because remember, they go down in the crypt in the beginning, and Baratheon guy,
Robert
was standing in front of her tomb thing.
Well, yeah, she has a tomb thing, but is there a body in there? But now that you mention it, he might have said something about that she should have been buried out in the fields and meadows and with sunlight or something. Maybe he brought the body back. It would have been cool to see them come out and play. Just saying. All right, so let's see. The crypts start erupting. Bran is still wooding over in the God's Wood. I took a note of that.
What? They're there, Bran. You can just knock it off anytime now.
What is he trying to figure out at that point?
Maybe he could have wheeled him inside or something.
I don't know. Jon is surrounded by the undead. The Night King just was like, peace out. I'm not going to waste my time with you, buddy. And walks away. So Jon's about to die, but then Drogon starts raining fire down, which amazingly doesn't burn Jon. Maybe because he's a Targaryen. Maybe that was part of it.
Could be.
And Drogon lands. Fucking Dany.
Don't land.
Why did she land?
Well, I think she wanted to get Jon on.
Yeah, maybe. But Jon starts heading after the... Oh, yeah. No, she tells him, go after the Night King. And then Drogon gets swarmed. That was messy.
Yeah.
The good news is none of the undead are particularly good at slaying a dragon. It was like 1,000 paper cuts, probably. Just stabbing in the back.
I don't know. I think he was taking on damage.
Look, I'm not saying he feels great about it, but it would have taken a long time for that to be fatal.
Maybe.
And probably just through blood loss, because they were just stabby. They weren't really going deep enough. Mm-hmm. So it winds up that Dany falls to the ground and Drogon takes off with a swarm full of zombies on him. And Dany is alone. Some zombies are coming. And who swoops in, of course?
Jorah.
Jorah Mormont saves the day.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Like that song?
Rock anthem?
Mm-hmm.
Sounded like
it. Oh, God. Jon's running around Winterfell. There's zombies everywhere. And Viserion is breathing blue fire all over the place. Theon in the God's Wood is the last one standing. All of the other people are dead. I assume that includes Lady Karstark. Tyrion and Sansa are hiding behind a crypt, and they are preparing for the end. So, tell me about that, babe.
Oh,
what were you feeling?
They didn't even have to use words. The looks that they gave, like Tyrion's looking at her like, I'm sorry for everything that has happened to you. I really cared about you, and I'm sorry that we have to die right now. And
she did pull out her knife.
Yeah.
There was part of me that thought that maybe she was going to offer to kill her, like him and then herself or something like that. Do like a suicide thing instead of dying to the zombies. But thankfully, no.
It was very touching. I cried.
Was there any part of that scene when you were crying that made you think back to Toy Story 3?
No.
No. They're holding hands.
No.
They're just ready to go into
That's
the incinerator.
a different kind of death.
Okay. That's where my mind goes.
Really?
Anytime I see that now, it's all about Toy Story 3 and how they were preparing to die.
Well, I mean, they were preparing to die. So
right. Yeah. Toy Story 3 did it first.
Apparently, that's what happens when you prepare to die. You become all gushy and...
Mm-hmm. Out in the battlefield, Jorah is starting to take damage. Dany picked up a sword off a body and is fighting as much as she can, but Jorah's doing the brunt of the work because... that's how Dany rolls. And he starts to get stabbed a couple times. Oops. The Night King gets to the tree. Theon and Bran are surrounded. And finally...
he stops warping.
Finally, the eyes come back to normal.
Just in time.
Right.
Thanks. We could have been, like, long gone.
And Theon's like, hey, buddy, you're back. And
look what happened. You have company.
Yeah. Message for you, sir.
Here's the guys you were looking for with your crows.
Right, yeah, I found them first. To which Bran says, Theon, you're a good man. Thank you. And then Theon... I'm so disappointed in Theon, babe.
You thought he could have done better?
I thought he was going to survive this in some fashion, and maybe he could have if he had just waited a little bit longer. Why charge? Did he really think he was going to beat the Night King by charging with a spear?
It was a kind of death he would be proud of. He didn't want to just stand there and have the Night King walk up to him and slap him like the little bitch he is, because that's what he's always done. Nothing. He just stand there.
Like Bran, except Bran just sits there.
Right. That way he wargs. He does something else.
Right. So Theon dies. Now I stopped taking notes at a certain point of just how bad things were going for everybody. We didn't really have anything else with the Hound and Melisandre. They were locked in a room after Arya had run off, but Brienne and Jaime and Podrick are surrounded, and Jorah is surrounded and dying, and we didn't really see a lot of Tormund, but I do think we saw one quick shot of him being surrounded as Jon was running through the city, and Jon is pinned down by Viserion and is trying to figure out if he can take the dragon out, but doesn't want to get breathed on. Everybody is at their darkest moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there going, this is it. They're doing this for a reason. They're just fucking with us now. Arya's coming to save the day. Arya's coming to save it. Did you think it was going to be Jon?
I didn't know that anybody was going to kill him. I thought that something else was going to happen, and then we were going to have another episode to fight the Night King.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was hoping for that. I would have rather that they retreated in defeat and have to. Yeah,
but what the Night King doesn't let you. Retreat. He wants to just completely annihilate you.
No, I know. They would have had to get away.
They could have just rolled Bran out in the thing and said, okay, here you go.
Just send him to the middle of the battlefield.
What good is he?
Here's what bothers me is that I'm okay with, the battle, this whole thing was very intense, and that's awesome. It was really